have landed remote and physical jobs because I've been able to predict interview questions. See, I know what to say, I know how to say it, and this has created a mindset in my interviewer that I'm the best fit for the job. So if you're watching this video, you probably have an interview coming up or you're planning ahead of time. Don't worry, I'm here to help you to ace your interviews in this 7 quick points. My name is Ojo Favor Ebonua, also known as Ebonlight, and on this space, there's no gatekeeping, no hoarding, just me telling you what works for you. Note that point 3 and point 5 are the bedrock of this video, so stay tuned till the end. Also, there will be a mock interview question at the end of this video. So I broke this down in 3 parts. There is the before, during, and after the interview. So first off, the before. You need to be prepared and you need to have a full understanding of the organization. This is important because you need to know what you're doing and what you're applying for. I'm talking about research, I'm talking about auditing, understanding the strengths and weaknesses of the organization. And now the advent of technology has helped because you can now look up an organization on the internet and now check out their history, check out their previous posts, their target audience, all that you need. So carrying out a research on the organization is key and very important and a very valid point before you start your interview. So next is, guys, in this 21st century, you cannot apply for jobs without having an online presence or a portfolio. Take your life seriously. Now, for instance, you're applying for a job, whether online or physically, and your profile picture is an anime character, or your profile picture is flower or rose or something that you took, and it's not you. What are you trying to sell to your employer? In this age and time, your portfolio should be everywhere, spread it across all platforms. I'm talking LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, all platforms as much as possible so that they can know and trust that you are actually a real person, especially if you're applying for these jobs online. All right, next is you need to understand that your interview is always going to be time sensitive. I'm telling you, because the probability of your interviewer having to interview people before and after you is really high. So you need to understand that it's time sensitive. Your time is precious and your interviewer's time is precious. You need to hit to the point. When you ask questions, answer promptly, answer punchy, answer well. The attention of your interviewer needs to be sustained from the beginning to the end of the interviews. And this is why I'm going to tell you now how to respond to interview questions. If, for instance, I ask you a question, what do you do? I have this 5 killer cheat code response that will help you respond properly. So this is what you do. You generate 5 different types of answers for that question. Meaning, if I say, what do you do? You generate 5 different responses you give to it. And trust me, the first 3 responses you get is mostly going to be generic, meaning every other person will say it. But the 4th or 5th response is going to be unique. It's going to come out fresh, like a fresh idea, an original idea. So before your interview, as I said before, I'm going to give you most likely predictable questions at the end of this video. So you can use those questions as a test for yourself. If I asked in the question, for instance, what do you do? You write in 5 different ways what you do. Select the 4th or the 5th response and you see that it's unique. You are going to be sure that not a lot of people will say it because, mind you, there are thousands of people applying for that role you're applying for too. So now we're moving on to during the interview. I want you to understand that you have to be confident. See, this is the thing. It's not really a matter of you are grateful. Oh my God, I just got an interview for Chevron or a big organization and it's such a privilege. Yes, I get it. But because you were qualified enough, that's why they selected you. So as much as it's a privilege, you were also qualified. Understand that there were a lot of resumes, there were a lot of cover letters, a lot of CVs, and yours was picked for the interview. So go with that kind of confidence, go with that kind of aura, answer the questions properly. If you don't understand a question, tell them to come again, because the last thing you want to be doing is answering the wrong question or saying a wrong answer to a question that was asked. Before I go on to the next point, don't forget to subscribe and comment below if this video is really helpful for you. The 5th point in during is understand how to pitch. Guys, I've seen a lot of people that are doing excellently well in their field. I'm talking of people that are data analysts or cybersecurity experts or even presenters that are very good, but they don't know how to pitch the right way. So now let me give you an example. For instance, if somebody tells me if I'm going to be interviewing for a role as the advertising director for Oraimo, for instance, this is what I'm going to do. If they ask me, how are you going to make Oraimo better? What are you going to do? Here's how I'll respond. I'll say that before now, I've gone through your profile and I see that you have a great online presence and you're doing well with your advertisement. But I think that your advertisement is not human centered enough. It's not specific to your target audience. So I will help you to generate content that will be specialized and streamlined to your target audience, that will in line bring in better deals. So the first thing that I will do if I get the job is I will cut the deals, I will reduce the sponsors on ambassadorial deals, and I'll channel it more into creating greater content, catchy content like, for instance, the Indomie advert. Everybody up till this age knows the Indomie advert because it's like a signature tune. So I'd rather channel this creative ideas and funding into having a good content than spending so much money on ambassadorial deals. So you see that I did not give them the whole juice. I created an idea in their mind that, oh, they have heard something and they think I'm going to do well. Now the next point during your interview is be ready for on the spot practicals. Let me give you an example. So I auditioned for a role as a podcaster for an organization, and the person asked me a question and he said that, for instance, there's a technicality or something goes wrong, how are you going to cover up? And I just answered easily. I said, oh, I'm good at telling stories, so I'm probably going to go into storytelling. And he said, good, come up with a story immediately on the spot. And this is a 20-minute interview, meaning that my time is valid and my time is ticking. But I came up with something quickly on the spot, and it became a conversation throughout the entire part of the interview, throughout like a large part of the interview. It became a conversation. They want examples, they want to see what you have done, they want you to explain to them, they want to see that you are confident enough to take up this role. And finally, this is after the interview. To be very honest with you, there is nothing much you can do after the interview, just to hope and pray that you get selected. So this is how I want you to approach your interviews. When you apply for a job or you apply for a grant or whatever it may be, apply in diverse organizations. Just take it like a college application. For college applications, they put in a lot of applications into diverse colleges and they pray for the best one to reach out, right? So if you're applying for it as a marketer, a social media manager, a presenter, a cybersecurity expert, any role at all, apply in diverse organizations. Go for the interviews in those organizations. For instance, let's say you apply to 5 different organizations for a particular role, and based on the tips that I've given you, you get 4 good feedbacks from your interviews. Now, you have the opportunity and the chance to pick the best for you. You consider the price, you consider the distance, the flexibility. You are in control because you spread your seeds abroad. You've done a lot of applications and lots of interviews. So be at peace. Just know that you are good for the job because you've passed the stage already of sieving, right? Okay? Well, that's all for the 7 tips to ace your interviews. And if you've applied for a job already and you have an interview scheduled or you're planning for the future, I wish you the very best. Follow these tips and you'll thank me later. That's all for now. If you have any other questions regarding any other thing, just enter my DM and I'll make a video just for you. Bye!